Hey consumers, welcome back to Amateur Consumption. I'm Isaac.
And I'm Mary.
This week on Craft Beer, we're going to be taking a look at Triple C Baby Maker.
So Triple C Baby Maker is a double IPA. So it should have some bitterness, but it has a higher alcohol content than a normal IPA. So there's also going to be some well-balanced sweetness in there. So with this being a double IPA, it falls pretty high on the IBU scale. It falls in at 85.
Which in my opinion is kind of my sweet spot for that flavoring. Also being a double IPA, it's going to have a higher alcohol content. It comes in at 8.5%, which means when you visit Triple C, you're going to get it poured for a $5 pour in a sniffer glass instead of a pint glass.
And it also means if you buy the 16-ounce can take home, be careful.
Alright, so what do you see in color?
So it's very nice, like dark golden color.
Yeah, it's lighter than I would expect like this heavy beer to be. It's kind of deceiving.
Yeah, definitely. I agree.
I also feel like it's a little bit darker on draft. Maybe that's just me being crazy.
Maybe.
But I just had one today, so.
I didn't notice it being darker.
Okay.
But should we smell it?
Yeah.
I feel like I smell some nice citrus.
Yeah.
So you gonna swirl your beer?
Just a little, just to get the aromas flowing, you know? Not too much. I don't want to mess up with the carbonation, but.
Yeah, I definitely get citrus.
Yeah, this is for sure citrus heavy.
Yeah, some of the other beers we've smelled recently have had more of that yeasty smell, and this that is not coming through. It's way more of the citrus.
Yeah, this is a quintessential ale for sure.
Yeah. So with this one, I also think you can smell some of the hops and the bitterness coming through. I feel like with a lot of the other beers that we smelled, once again, the yeastiness was the primary smell coming through. And since it's not with this one, it's allowing some of the other smells to be a bit more visible. Should we taste it?
Absolutely. It's so good. One of my favorite beers in Charlotte for sure.
Yeah, there's a nice balance of a little bit of sweetness just from the alcohol content being so high. It's a very natural occurring sweetness from all the hops and the alcohol content. And then the nice bitterness coming through.
That's one of the hard things with double IPAs is finding that balance between sweetness and bitterness and where that kind of fits in when someone takes a drink.
For sure. I think it's a hard balance that not a lot of breweries find, and I think Triple C has kind of perfected that balance.
Absolutely. Some great things about Triple C. They have a wonderful spot in South Charlotte. They have an open area where you can bring your dog. Their tap room is great. All the staff is very friendly. They have all their beers on draft. They have seasonal openings. They have special releases. They have a lot of their beers in cans that you can buy in 4-packs. And they also just did a crowler. And so it's a can growler, a 32-ounce can that you can get filled with anything from the tap.
And they also have a really solid run club. And they also have yoga every week on Thursday with the yoga guy, who is this guy in Charlotte. Just note he goes to a few different places, but he's always the same teacher at Triple C, which I actually really like, because then, you know, if you like the instructor, then you know that's who you're gonna get every time. And that runs about $5 to get you both a beer and a yoga class.
Totally worth it. So if you can't tell, we're pretty big fans of Triple C, and we really think that if you're in Charlotte or if you're visiting, it's totally worth them checking them out. Triple C has done a really good job with this beer, intertwining the bitterness and the sweetness of a double IPA throughout the entire drink.
A lot of different beers and or wines might have, say, sweetness in the front, bitterness in the back, or vice versa.
Kind of like a mullet.
But this one specifically is very consistent throughout your taste. So when you first taste it to when you have kind of not an aftertaste because it's the same taste, but it's lingering in your mouth from when you just tasted it. It's all the same. It's all very consistent.
So when it comes to rating, this beer is going to rate really high. In terms of doubles, this is probably one of the best doubles we've ever had. I'm going to rate this a 9 out of 10.
And I would agree. Even with traveling around the country a bit for my job, I've tasted a few doubles in different areas of, beers that you can't get everywhere, and this still is the one I come back to every time.
So Triple C, you definitely know your craft.
Thanks so much for watching this week's episode of Craft Beer. If you liked it, give it a thumbs up. If you loved it, subscribe, and we'll see you next week.
Get your craft on.